Hello, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. This will be a new moon reading. I actually forgot about the new moon for a moment and I recorded a twin flame reading, which you may get two in one day, or I might just post that one tomorrow. But what's interesting is we're having similar themes arrive. That's the only reason why I'm telling you. Um, I don't know if you could hear the birds, but there are so many loud birds where I am. So forgive me and forgive them if that's annoying. If not, if you enjoy them, there you go. You're welcome. Okay, let's see. This is a cool reading. So the new moon, I believe, is in Taurus. So you could look up, don't ask me astrology things. I know the absolute bare minimum, but I'm around a lot of people that know way more than I do about astrology. You can look up to see where Taurus is in your chart, and you'll get a little bit more information there. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's see where we go. This is a really exciting new moon. I mean, is it insane that we have the new beginnings about the new moon? This is really exciting because there's a lot of confidence in this reading. There's a lot of sovereignty in this reading. There's a lot of self-managed power in this reading. So let me just go through the cards and then we'll, put the puzzle pieces together. So we have new beginnings, we have career, we have grieving, boundaries, financial health, fertility in the primary position. So it's so funny because before I even was pulling these cards, I felt that this was going to be about finances, and then I got career, and I said, okay, maybe it's about social capital or something, or excelling in career or something. And then later we got financial health. So let's just start flowing and see what comes out. So when I get a group of cards, and I don't know if you guys want to hear the behind the scenes. I know some of you are learning to read Oracle or Tarot yourself. So I always like to share kind of my process. And it helps, I think, the listener, bring you in deeper to the meanings and the flow of how these energies move through me. So when I'm reading and there's a group of cards that all seem to go together and there's one outlier, that's what I zone in on first. So out of these cards, I can't stop staring at grieving at this card, and it looks like there are three figures. They look like women, I'm not sure. And they look like they are grieving at the altar of something. And above this altar, there is this beautiful blue butterfly, which is, it's the metamorphosis symbol, right? It's from shifting from one state to another, the symbol of transformation. So, quite literally, and this feels like a very tactile 3D reading, it feels less spiritual and more tangible. So, this feels really exciting because it feels like fast movement in 3D, right? There's not a lot of this transpersonal, intense existential journey. It's literally like, cool, you might get a new job, or it's very concrete. So I always love these readings, especially for a new moon, because new moons are about growth and movement, and you let go of so much in the previous full moon, and now you're able to initiate and ignite this new start for yourself. So again, let's honor that you may be grieving a past job. You may be grieving a career. You may be grieving a relationship. Something here about, I have a very dense message for someone. Some of you may be grieving the loss of a child. I send you such profound grace and love. Your grief is sacred, and it takes as long as it takes. Don't let anyone tell you or give you a timeline for your grief. Is a very specific message for someone. And let's just honor how much a massive grief experience can tear apart relationships, families, our 3D reality. Like, let's just honor how intense the tsunami of pain can be when there is either a death or a energetic or spiritual death. There's something here um, about this sweeping. It's like your house is being violently swept of all of these denser energies, and with that aggressive experience may come even more grief. But what's on the other side of that grief is this letting go and surrender. That's interesting because that message really kind of ambushed me right there. I was really on the career finances track, and that really just caught me off guard. So let me ground for a moment. I'm going to skip around a lot. This is a very weird reading, and I feel like this happened in our last either new moon or full moon reading, where it felt like popcorn or like a pinball, where I'm just here and now we're here and then we're over there and then we're over there. And so in this time of new beginning, I'm going to ask the question of, how can you mother yourself? How can you parent the parts of you that are struggling, that are grieving the old so that you can make room for the new? And also there's a question under that. Is your 3D experience mirroring you something important about yourself, about the way you're showing up? One of my favorite questions when shit is hitting the fan to ask, and I have to make a choice point, I ask myself, and this is purely to keep myself accountable, I ask myself, do I have a hidden agenda here? And it keeps me in my integrity. It keeps me honest. And sometimes I really do, and I didn't even notice. But if I take the time just to ask the question, to pose this inquiry to self, then I have an opportunity to authentically answer it. So again, the question is, do I have a hidden agenda here? Like, for instance, if you are severely let down by a person, place, or thing, that's a perfect example to ask yourself, do I have a hidden agenda here? And in my experience, what has been revealed was an unconscious expectation that was never brought up into the light, that was never communicated. And if we don't communicate our desires, we never give the world or a person or whatever an opportunity to meet our desires. And it sets us up for failure if we have an expectation and no one knows about it, and then they don't meet it, and then, we feel, I don't know, rejected, abandoned, let down, betrayed. There's all these really dense things that could most likely be avoided if we are able to illuminate these truths and bring them out into the light and share them with the people that matter most to us. Because maybe if you share that desire or share that boundary or whatever the thing is, maybe that person can give you can notify you ahead of time that actually isn't in alignment with their boundary or their goals or whatever. And so you're not ambushed. You're not like sitting on pins and needles waiting to see if someone, failed you or lets you down. There's something here, and maybe that conversation might actually open up a dialogue and where you can actually negotiate, okay, that's not within my boundary, but you know what? I can meet you here and do these things. Or we can, take our relationship in this direction, or take that job in this direction. Whatever the thing is, there may be an opportunity for negotiation. And having a healthy negotiation and having healthy, I hate the word confrontation, but quite literally, to confront these vulnerable things authentically, we gift ourselves and other an opportunity to meet us in that sacredness, right? We teach the world how to treat us by how we treat ourselves, right? we model the behavior and the respect and the boundaries for self, and that gets mirrored to the world, and then they learn how to treat us by seeing how we treat ourselves. And that's very difficult. That could be a lifelong journey for most of us. It's very intense. Sorry, I got very distracted. Where's my feather? I got very distracted by this boundaries card, because as I was saying this, can you see, wait, I can't see on my phone, but can you see this woman who's sitting in this ring of fire? Oh, I felt that as I was saying my words, I felt that ring of fire in my chest. And then I saw this infinity symbol. Um, it's interesting. Wait, do I have something? I don't have anything round. I wanted to show you a visual example, but I need like an elastic band or something. What's interesting, have you ever seen this? That the infinity symbol is actually this circle with a twist in it. You get the idea. I can't do it on camera. It was a twist in it. And so I really love that, because if you think about a circle, it is this infinite loop. It is this infinite endings and beginnings are all contained within this oneness, this circle. And so it's interesting to put a twist in it and have this kind of, this intersection where maybe the past and the present can meet, or the present and the future, or my present and someone else's present, or my experience and someone else's experience. There's something really beautiful about that intersection. And I've actually never heard anyone talk about that intersection, because when you think about the figure 8, there is an intersection right in the pinched part in the center, right? It's a really powerful alchemical focal point, which I don't know why I'm talking about it, but it feels on fire right now. So I just had to name that. Maybe that gifted somebody with a new awareness or something. And then I laugh because I didn't even realize, but right under that card is this card. It says, "Devotion unites me with the infinite." Oh, and silly me, there's like an infinite symbol, rainbow infinity symbol right there. God, how did I not see that? You won't know this yet, because I think I'm going to post the twin flame reading tomorrow, but in that reading, there was something about this devotion to self, this recalibrating our awareness so that we are devoted to our core frequency first, and then all other work can come after that. That we are the stewards of this God frequency, this unity consciousness, and everything flows from there, right? It's like all the rivers flowing into this greater ocean of consciousness. There's something here about creating really sacred boundaries around this devotion to self, this self-love. Okay, I did not think this reading was going to go here. Let's switch gears and return back to this idea of career and financial health and wealth, or something. Let's just lean into that a little bit. So I can't stop staring at this leap card. It says, "You go first, the universe will catch you." Oh God, this is such a spiritual concept, that you jump off the cliff having quote, total and complete faith that you will grow wings on the way down. Just feel the reality of that. Yes, it's a lovely like analogy, but feel into the actual tangible reality of jumping off a cliff, having no other information other than your trust in the divine, and trusting that you will grow wings and receive the necessary tools on the way down. It's such a jarring, visceral experience, right? It gets the adrenaline going. It's intense. It's terrifying. It's, oh my goodness. Maybe it's also exciting and whatever. But I would assume most people feel terror. So again, please, I have to say the disclaimer. Please don't go jump off an actual cliff. I just had to say that. Let's move on. But there's this idea that when we when we jump off the cliff of the soul, when we jump off the, let me say it in a different way, when we jump off the cliff of this human experience, it is the soul that grows wings. It is the soul that lights our way. It is the soul that gives us the necessary connections, opportunities, skills, talents, gifts that will carry us through, that will give us flight through these rebirths or new births, through these this gestation process. There's a lot of birth. We have this fertility card I can't stop staring at, and I think her belly is illuminated. I don't know if that's coming up on camera, but it is interesting, this fertile earth. Our soul gives us this rich soil in which we get to grow and nourish and caretake. There's something here about creating sacred boundaries around these things that light your soul on fire. We had a lot of messaging in the twin flame reading about temperance, specifically for the divine masculines. And we have this moderation card. It's interesting because it's sandwiched between two red cards. So we have the heart chakra sandwiched between two root chakra cards. And this does feel like a very root chakra reading, right? Financial wellness, stability, feelings of safety, boundaries. I mean, this woman literally surrounded herself in a ring of fire. And let's just honor that boundaries, yes, keep bad things out, but they also keep good things in. So there's something here about accessing your incredible, wise discernment and using that intuition to surrender intentionally, right? You're not going to surrender and give your power away to something that is not in alignment with you. You're not going to surrender to a really corrupt boss or to a really abusive person or partner. You are not going to do that. You have access to this profound divine intuition. You are able to temper that and discern where can you take another step in your sovereignty. Where can you lead self intentionally down this path? I'm drawn to this, quite literally, this yellow brick road here. It says where there's a will, there's a way. And I will add to that, when we've lost our why, we've lost our way. So there's something here about surrendering consciously, surrendering intentionally, knowing and resonating with who and what you're gifting your time and energy to. You wouldn't just, give your life savings to Joe Schmo off the street and say, okay, will you take care of me? You wouldn't do that. That sounds crazy. You would not do that. So there's a large spectrum of discernment, the very obvious things like that one, or there's the very subtle things where you might be venting to a friend and you thought it was, a circle of trust and confidential, and then they told your boss and it ignited this whole other thing, and they divulged something personal and intimate that you didn't want to share with the rest of the world. Like, there's these very, subtle ways that our boundaries could be crossed. So what is up to our control? What is in your control in that moment? How can you take accountability and responsibility for either what has already happened and forgive yourself and other for the chaos that came out of it, or for what you want to happen? Can you be more accountable that when you're venting to a friend, you say, this is very sensitive and vulnerable for me. I'm in the process of working it out. Am I able to speak to you in confidence? Are you secure enough to keep this to yourself and keep this between us? And then you have to then trust whatever happens after that, or use your discernment. If you don't think this person is trustworthy, then do not share with them these vulnerable details. Okay. I separated these cards because these felt very tangible, tactile, 3D, and these felt more, these felt more career, these felt more love relationship. It says love, partnership, and communication. So again, calling you on this new moon to assess and identify and communicate what new boundaries do you need when engaging in any sort of communication with people that you love. partners, family, friends, coworkers, whatever. What sort of boundaries do you need to be able to speak your truth and feel safe and confident? It is not weak of you to not speak your truth if you know the situation is not a safe situation. That is actually wise discernment. So do not shame yourself for not being able to communicate all of the time. Check inward, because those moments where you quote unquote failed to communicate might actually have been you in your most powerful version of self. You may have been accessing your wise discernment and assessing, hey, this is not a safe situation. My boss is abusive. He'll just punish me, or she'll just punish me, and it'll make my life at work much harder. So again, use your discernment. Honor that that is a source of power. Okay. Another message about boundaries here. You know me, I talk about consent and boundaries all the time, but this is a subtle message about boundaries. Sometimes the healthiest thing we can do is draw an internal boundaries. If you, with your divine intuitive gifts, intuit that someone does not have the capability to hear your boundaries, to receive your boundaries, and to implement and respect your boundaries, you might need to create a boundary with yourself that you do not hold them to this, that you don't hold people to a standard that they can never meet. I'm going to say that again. To access this discernment, that you don't hold people to standards that they are incapable of meeting. Now, what you do with that information going forward is like, okay, if you have to ask yourself, do I want to work for a boss that cannot honor boundaries? And then that might be a bigger conversation, right? It might be what ignites and initiates this path to finding a new job or career. Random message for someone that you may be someone that has always had jobs but never a career. There might be some of you that are awakening to your soul's purpose and that you are initiating this new career path. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 40, or 70 years old. It doesn't matter. If your soul ignition can happen at any time, and you are worthy of that divine alignment. You are worthy to live a life in resonance and to experience yourself and the world around you living from this place of resonance. Wow, that is such a true and beautiful message. How beautiful would it be if every facet of your life was pure resonance? How would that even feel? Maybe that's a wonderful journal question of, how would a life feel waking up in the morning when I was in pure resonance, when I resonated with the work I was doing, with the way I feel in that work, with my house, my apartment, my dwelling, my partnership, my best friends, my family. How would it feel to live a life where you are actually content with how you show up in the world, where that you are in pure resonance with your truth, your boundaries, your authentic life path? I just got full body chills as I said that. Okay. We have this card, the world is blessed to have you. Some of you, I'm just going to call you out a little bit and honor that this is real. That some of you do not feel worthy of this new beginning. That it's all new to you. That you think that, that you're not worthy to uproot your entire life to change everything. Gary Vaynerchuk said that if I'm 99% happy with everything, my family, my career, my projects, my mission, my purpose, whatever, I will demolish all of it to work on that 1% so that I get to 100. And it's something that always stuck with me. And it's interesting because, take that with a grain of salt. We don't want to be reckless. However, the worthiness piece is divine. We have to, again, train our consciousness to see through the lens of the highest and best possible interpretation. Sorry, I need tea. My throat is, I'm getting all fired up, and so my throat's a little raw. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut myself off in the middle of that flow. You've heard me say that before, that we're training our awareness to access the highest and best interpretation of things. And part of that access is accessing the full spectrum. We are worthy of the 100%. It's whether we reach it or not is not the thing, right? Whether we reach the 100% is not the goal. That goal is going to forever be a moving target. And thank God, because what does that do? That keeps us on our toes. That keeps us walking this beautiful path of consciousness, of sovereignty, of wielding our free will in a way that is in alignment with divine will, with this soul mission and soul purpose. Oh, I just got full chills as I said that. Yeah, in the unconscious, we have this strength card. Some of you don't think you have what it takes to take action, to create these new beginnings. That is false evidence appearing real. That is a fear, and that is an illusion. You are divinely worthy. I don't care where you've come from. I don't care what you've done. I don't care where you've been and what you haven't done. Everyone is worthy of this, how do I say it? Like this divine redemption, right? The world and the universe and the cosmos and the quantum field exists in such a way that we have infinite beginnings. Even when we die, we have infinite beginnings to move, to flow as energy, as a drop of water in the great wave of this ocean of consciousness. So if you don't think you have strength, if you don't think you can access this power, then that is your step one, to work on building up your self-esteem, to work on building up whatever strength means to you. Maybe it's physical strength. Maybe it's strength in financial health and making money. Maybe it's strength in leading a team of people, or leading your family or your friends or your beloved. Whatever this is, focus on the step that's in front of you only. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this goes with the worthiness thing. This is in the unconscious. My light attracts light. Let me tell you again, each of you are a pebble thrown into the lake of the quantum field. Your thread affects the entire tapestry of life. Period. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. And again, this is in the unconscious also, keepers of the earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Again, you have to honor that if you affect the quantum field also affects you, right? Let's just honor that duality. We are not doing this alone. So ask for help. Ask for the help that you need. And again, as always, this continues to come up in the unconscious: patience. We can't do anything without patience. Call your spirit back from the past. Call your spirit back from the future, and allow yourself to be radically micro-present in these in-between moments. Like, what would it be like to train your awareness to be micro-present in seconds? Really, that's the best example I can give you. What if second by second you were conscious, truly conscious of your breath, conscious of your body, conscious of how your skin feels, conscious of the vibration that your coworker is coming into, and what would happen? How much information would you even be able to hold? Is it too much? These are things we actually have to train our perceptual field. We have to train our senses to the crazy thing is, like, everyone can sense these things, but not everyone gets the information. Like, some people just are more distracted by other noises or thoughts or whatever, but we all have a similar perceptual system. I just think people are at different levels. And then in the unconscious, we have this, again, another self-esteem card. I lovingly accept myself. Beautiful. Okay, anything else for this new moon? Anything else for these lovely people who are so devoted and committed to their personal growth and reaching their highest human potential? Okay, we have authenticity. I mean, come on. I've been talking about authenticity this whole time, so I'll show you the card. I say what I mean. You know, I love that quote or that phrase, how we do anything is how we do everything. It is so true. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Honor yourself and others by being authentic in your communication. Make a habit out of speaking your truth to free yourself of misunderstandings and miscommunications. Beautiful. And then we also had, my feelings are valid. Yes, your desires, your desires for that 100% are valid. It says, acknowledge your emotions as they come to pass. Spend time with them and investigate where your feelings are coming from. Understand that you are not your emotions. They do not define who you are, and you have the power to both respect them and move beyond them. Oh, beautiful. Is there anything else? What else should we get? I'm not going to read all of these, but I'll just show them to you. We have, I am a masterpiece. This is also about this mirror, about working with the reflections. If you don't like what the world is reflecting back to you, go inward and see where you are not congruent with self, where you're crossing your own boundary. And then we have privacy, please. I deserve quality time with myself. It is that time with self that will help you boost your self-esteem. We have best self. I put my best self forward. I feel like my mouth is getting tired from talking. I'm sorry. I am financially secure. I'll put that under financial health. I didn't even get into the financial stuff. Oh, what's hilarious. Look what's under it. I accept abundance. Look at this. Beautiful. Do we want one of these? Yes. How much time do we have? Okay. Anything else for these wonderful people? Yep. We have hello from heaven. We got this in another reading. It says, your loved ones in the spirit world want to connect with you as much as you want to connect with them. They know you've been thinking of them, and they're sending you signs and symbols to show you how much they love you, to prove they're with you at this time. This is another confirmation and synchronicity about what I was saying about the quantum field. When you start to notice the quantum field starts to notice you and will intervene. They will mirror you. They will match your awareness. What was I saying? The quantum field. That none of us are doing this work in a vacuum. We also have fun. I'm not going to read it, but this idea of fun and fertility. Oh, maybe some of you will have a new sensual, sexual love partnership, or a new, you'll find another creative partner to birth a new idea with. Anything else, Spirit? We also have Animal Kingdom, and we have Listen. Okay, you have to be willing to listen if you want to really understand someone. Now is not the time to be offering advice, but to be a compassionate listener. To listen fully and intently means to pay attention, not to just what's being said, but to what lies beneath the words. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Sending you all so much love. I will see you in the next one.